Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Downtown Auto Sales Truck Series travels south to Pensacola, Florida for this week's running of the Mystic Racing League Downtown Auto Sales Truck Series presented by Pest Busters. For this edition, the Downtown Auto Sales 200 here at Five Flags. You are watching it all right here on V-Speed. I'm your host, producer Morgan Cook, alongside special guest Logan Santa Threlkeld up here in the booth with the cameras by the great Dougie Beard. Santa, it's been quite a while since you visited us here near the equator, I should say. How's it going?
A long way from home tonight, Morgan. Glad to be here, though. Looking forward to it. Long time no see, buddy. We've got a lot of action to cover here at Five Flags Speedway, so buckle up, hold on tight. It's not going to be the fastest half mile, but it's going to be full of action. Opened up 1953 here in Pensacola, Florida, just right at that half mile configuration. Very light banking in the corners, 15 degrees, almost flat track-esque. It'll drive like it at times, especially once we get some tire wear underneath these trucks. Four-corner oval, and of course, you always got to throw in 5 degrees of banking on the front straight, but that's virtually nothing.
And of course, the home of the Snowball Derby. But tonight we have big, heavy NASCAR trucks taking the banks of this track here tonight. Look at the schedule. We find ourselves in the middle column. One race down at Five Flags. Next week, Scarlet, the track a little bit more familiar with, a little bit more maybe excited for, some drivers would say, as we are in a swamp of short tracks on the schedule here. And we're not going to see the other side of that until Darlington in August. So better get used to turning in these tight little configurations, as well as turning left and right. There's a lot of road courses on the schedule coming up here in the near future. Drivers should be strapping into their cars shortly, as we are about 5 seconds away from finding out where your favorite driver is going to start the race. Engine's about to get fired. Let's go down to your starting grid. Starting on the pole here tonight, we know Hubbard in the 12. The Dash O is an open driver, no charger for Noah Hubbard. Not that it matters, we don't have enough drivers to eliminate any here tonight. Tristan Brunelli will start in the second position. Third tonight, Tyler Stevenson in the 1. Dustin Lewis will start in 4th. 5th spot for Luke Barnes in the 04. 7 Hawthorne starts in the 6th spot. 7th for Sean Merriman. 8th for Derek Jewett in the Patriotic Paint Scheme. And your top 10 belongs to Jonathan Gasheri and Steven Addison.
Back in the P11 position, Caleb Hunt lines up next to John Ullman. Behind them, 13th belongs to Craig McKern next to the 94, Jesse Whittington. P15 starts out with the 11 of Douglas Wysocki next to the 30 of Seth Heyman. 17th, the 14 of Dave Billings next to the 77 of Zach White. And inside the top 20, Joshua Gillen in the 01 next to the 97 of Colin Bollinger.
Starting 21st, and Adam Holston did not take a time in the 48. Christian Barnes will start to his outside in 22nd. 23rd for Gavin Hinson in the 39. Zachary King starts in 24th. 25th for Trevor Yates. 26th for the 26 of Gary Baldwin Jr. 27th for Harold Tucker III. We call him Trey. Jared Knopfschneider starts in 28th. And 29th for Tyner Willing. Let's look at your starting grid here tonight. As pace trucks, trucks already pacing around, I should say, as the pace truck is out on the speedway. Little analysis, we have about 1 lap to go before we get this thing fired up, Logan. 200 laps will be the scheduled distance for this evening's event. Pit road speed, 30 miles an hour. Shouldn't be much of a concern here tonight. 4 tire sets. I doubt you use all of them, although you could. Stage will be at lap number 70. That will be important. We are on the iRacing fixed setup, as we have been for most of the season. But half a lap
a little bit of
green.
shuffling there. I don't know if he caught that, Morgan. Quite a few cars kind of getting around this place.
Yeah, some drivers did not launch for whatever reason, getting going. I don't really know why that would be, but things happen. We're going 1 more lap here for the field. Make sure everyone's dialed in place here. While we have this 1 extra lap, this half mile to go before we go green, what are your keys to the race here? How are you going to be successful and win at Five Flags tonight?
It's going to be patience tonight, Morgan. It is a long race, only a half mile, but 200 laps can take quite a bit of time. We're seeing lap times in the half-second range of these 17s, so it's going to be patience will be key.
Not sure how this track will be for passing tonight, so it's going to be important to make sure you are, say, patient. You don't want to wipe yourself out, as we're already racing here. Green flag is out.
Already a very quick stack up on the outside line, but charging hard around the outside. The 24, Brunelli, wants to take away that number 1 spot from Noah Hubbard.
I think this is our answer for how racy the track is going to be. They're side by side the entire lap, and the outside squeaks away as they wreck at the line. Brunelli's in the wall, and here comes Stevenson.
Stevenson will make the best out of the opportunity and shoots through the middle. The mistake by the 12 collected the 24. That puts Brunelli back to 4th. Luke Barnes was able to get around temporarily. We're still going to stay side by side a little bit deeper in the field. That's for the 5th position. 18 of Merriman next to Lewis in the 8.
Yeah, Lewis fading slightly as Ullman also hit the wall, I believe. Fading quite a bit further back as they're all stacked up behind him. Gavin Hinson trying to make hay around the outside of the 14. Ullman almost squeezed him into the fence. Now give the optimal position here to the 39, who's going to slip up in the corner. Ullman is safe for the moment.
Gonna be a lot of slipping and sliding, some, half-hearted drifting off of the corner once we get some tire wear going. So expect to see quite a bit of position change. As the yellow flag already has waved, it looks like the 30th Seth Heyman has had issues.
Heyman around, a few other drivers as well, one stuck against the inside wall there. That's the 9. Jared Knopfschneider.
Knopfschneider does get it rolling, though. Able to beat the pace truck out, so he will remain on the lead lap at least. Take a look back here.
Heyman just, for some reason, went into the corner and just did not do what you expected it to. He just kind of spun. 26 went around.
60 went around as well in front of the 26. So a little bit of rear brake bias in there.
Now let's go back one more time here and we'll see it again. Sue through the trees potentially. Watch the 30, just hit the brake pedal, and yeah, it just did not do what he expected. Addison in front of him. Oh, maybe trying to avoid Addison is what the issue was.
There might have even been some slight contact there to the left rear that upset the nose.
And there's everyone else who spun. I don't know what happened to the 9. That car just went straight to the left into the inside guardrail. And just stayed there for a good while. Really being safe. Jared Knopfschneider. Now we're good to go. Yeah, that was interesting.
So that's one way to kick off the race here within the first 10 laps. We've got small issues, but nothing too crazy. One thing worth noting, Morgan, these drivers do have one faster pair available for the race. So that can always up the level of aggression up until you start losing some of those drivers with the faster pair. Then things typically seem to calm down.
I don't think we're going to see anyone use the faster pair after that incident. I think all that contact was pretty minor.
Certainly not.
But the 9 would be the only one I would think maybe, but they're already off pit road here. There you see them trying to save that lap. Looks like they will.
And the 30 will receive a black flag penalty, EOL for Heyman for the cause of caution.
Understandable.
As to be expected.
As frustrating as it may be, definitely warranted as we are at the choose. The rule here today, don't be in the middle lane. Be on the left lane, be in the right lane. Don't touch the dotted white lines in the middle of the racetrack. That'll get you a EOL every time.
As the field working back around, I believe the lights on the pace truck will come out this time.
You are correct.
Some of the field still catching up.
That's good for them. They'll get there, I'm sure.
Stevenson elects for the bottom. Hubbard goes for the top. The front row remains the same. Just a slight change in positioning. Nothing too crazy, but we'll see how the 1 of Stevenson handles the control. Pace truck comes off into the restart zone. We go and off we are.
And they really sailed that thing into turn 1. It feels like it's not going to stick, just the geometry of the track where that camera is, but it sticks for most of them.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The 12 of Hubbard charging around the outside as we're already working up to some of the lap traffic. That's the 9 of Knopfschneider. We saw him have issues. He's going to take it down to the apron, stay out of the race leader's way. And looks like he will actually end up bringing it down pit road here. So issues getting worse for the 9 machine tonight. The battle still fierce for the front. Luke Barnes and Brunelli battling out for P3.
Yeah, Brunelli trying to rebound from me. Took the lead for a moment and then got stuffed in the wall immediately. So trying to rebound from that. So far, so good. They're already working lap 14 of this one.
Single filed out a whole lot quicker this time, aside from back here. A little side-by-side battle. I believe that's Wysocki and Zach White. Things are going to get hairy coming across the start-finish line out of turn 4. A couple drivers that were sideways in front of those two, and then the battle behind as well between Barnes and Yates. That one, that had a little bit of a slide too, Morgan.
Yeah, this is on board with Gavin Henson. We'll see him trying to work through this battle right here. Shifting, it seems like we are tonight. He's running 15th at the moment. Oh, third gear the whole time here, not even hitting fourth gear. Interesting.
I was about to say the shift would be, pretty crazy to think about it. This track, that's a lot of wear and tear on the right rear. Third gear seems to be holding it down for now. I'd assume that once we start seeing some longer runs, we might creep up into fourth gear and extend the fuel run past the stage break that we have at lap 70.
And my concern with going into fourth gear from here is we just saw Zach White way up against the wall, would be if you go to fourth gear, you'd probably lose all the drive up off the corner. You just kind of be bogged down in the center. And I don't think even for fuel you'd want to give up drive off.
Well, it depends on how the race goes up until that point. I'd have to imagine, somebody would be willing to make a strategy call that would be different from everybody else. But you never know. That's why they're down there, we're up here, Morgan.
That's right. That's right. Greg McKern, I think, just got shoved out of the way. Yes, he did on the front stretch. 60 went around. Let's go see what was the cause.
It's a going back before the leaders get around, so the yellow stays put.
Was it Heyman again? There's an actual accident now. We'll go back and see it. It's Gavin Hinson involved. 60 on his own. Just simply went around on him.
And then if there was any contact there, it was net code.
And then 2 laps later, his teammate, Gavin Hinson.
39 having problems.
Contact with the 81 and yeah. Oh, Zach White drilled him. Oh my goodness.
A big hit for Zach White. That will certainly warrant one of those fast repairs.
That was a devastating smack. We were just talking baseball before this. That immediately just gave me like a Manny Machado smashing a home run sort of thought there. I don't know about that one. 39 came up, 81 could have been closer to the wall, but the 77, I have no idea. No idea. Let's try it on board.
It's as bad as the situation is here with this incident. I have to chuckle a little bit because watching it live and then seeing what has happened now, I clicked to the driver as soon as I heard the yellow come out, and he was already facing the correct way. Now I understand why.
Yeah, he got helped. Yeah, that's probably going to be 2 penalty points later. Yikes! That was a big lick.
77 has not elected to use the fast repair and get that truck repaired. So I guess at this point, hoping that it's all cosmetic.
I have my doubts.
The aerodynamics aren't really the biggest factor here at Five Flags.
He's got the aerodynamics of a Tonka truck right now.
Yeah, they always say that a Jeep has worse aerodynamics than a cow, and I have to say I think we finally found something that's worse than a cow.
Yeah.
Or worse than a Jeep, rather.
Anyway. Oh, I think we're already back racing, I think. No? Pace truck's still out
Just
here?
Just about. We've got one more time around. The pace truck just crossed the start-finish line.
I thought I saw it dive onto pit road here. Apologies, folks. I got so excited. Oh, man.
Setting the tone early.
Sadness out here yelling, "Whoa, Nelly!
Auto sales.
Whoa, Nelly!" Oh, man. Anyway.
L. Peyton Hubbard back on the top. Tyler Stevenson back on the bottom. Pace truck dives off into the restart zone. We go back on the loud pedal, and the outside line gets a much better jump this time. Here comes the 24, Brunelli.
First time we've seen either lane be able to take the lead right off the bat like that. Brunelli with the best restart, though, ends up going from third to second spot. as Barnes all over the back of Stevenson.
Stevenson a slide out of turn 4. Managed it well, but you don't want to be doing that too often and superheat those rear tires as the yellow comes out. Christian Barnes around.
Oh, man, did he get smacked again.
Another big shot there. Not entirely. Is that? I believe that was Knopfschneider again.
Knopfschneider got him, certainly. But what caused the 27 to go around?
Some contact with the wall up ahead.
Yeah, just a little bit of Asaki went up, 27 went down, and all of a sudden,
two big hits.
Yeah, that's not good.
And I'm not here to point fingers, but I did notice those tires still rolling after the fact, so that's not typically something that race control likes to see. They like to see the tires smoke, locking up the brakes, staying as put where you are as you can. So the 27 might be under some scrutiny for that one.
Yeah, I would say a deserved meatball in that case. As much as you can have a deserved meatball.
Gary Baldwin Jr. also electing to use his fast repair after the contact. So that's the unfortunate circumstances of short track racing is, there's not a whole lot of places to go.
No, you can't hide.
You got up, down, and whenever the truck is fully sideways, sometimes it's, half a lane that's available.
Yeah.
And they close so fast.
Yeah, just minimizing the damage at that point is, if you're going to take a hit, try and square it up in the center and not have it be on one of the tires, or maybe use the wall to scrub speed if you can. I mean, there's so limited options, though, when the track is blocked like that to figure out where you're going to go and not get the most damage.
Creeping up to the halfway point of the stage break at lap 70. I believe we'll be one lap after the green flag drops. Should take us to lap 35 if my math is correct here. But so far, a couple cautions on the event. 2 lead changes. Hubbard, Brunelli, Stevenson have been up at the front. Luke Barnes in the 04. He's gained 1 position. With 7 Hawthorne in the 15 machine up 1 position as well. The big movers so far, we've got 2 of them. It's Adam Holston up from 20th to the top 10, and Trevor Yates up from 23rd up to 13th.
And Yates
there's some movers out here.
Yates has been on a really great run here the last 3 or 4 races. Back to Kentucky, where he kind of just showed up out of nowhere. We hadn't really talked about him all year. All of a sudden, this Yates guy shows up and leads a bunch of laps at Kentucky. Was really, really fast all night. Flipped that tire strategy perfectly. And then since then has found a lot of momentum and has been up near the front, moving forward in most of these races since then. So it's great to see that for Trevor Yates.
And I would have to say, looking at the schedule, this is a good place to start getting hot, right in the middle column. You don't want it to be too early. You want to start building that momentum, getting closer and closer to the championship deciding races. And, it's, I would say that, perfect middle of the schedule. Really good place to start picking up your heat.
And also a lot of short tracks coming up here. Lanier's on the way. We've got Worldwide Technology Raceway, which is technically not a short track, but it races like one, among others happening in the near future. So if you're good here, you can probably translate that into some good runs in the future. But we're back racing again and again. Hubbard is gone out of a cannon on the front row.
It's a good habit to be getting into. A couple of black flags being shown on my timing and scoring.
That's just the choose. No need to worry about that.
Seems we will get that sorted then, but side by side at the front is still yet to get sorted. Hubbard, Brunelli going after it.
First time we've seen a challenge from the bottom today. It's always been topside being the aggressor. But Brunelli in the 24 not afraid to at least try and get that spot away. A little short track ace in that 24.
Nearly a 3 wide situation just behind him. Stevenson, Hawthorne, and Barnes. They're all going at it. Stevenson almost ended up the meat and the sandwich. It gets sorted, though. The 4 Barnes falls back to 5th after challenging. Hawthorne
P4 for the 15 machine. Contact between the two. The 4 holds on to it. Hawthorne finally gets fully clear, but Barnes, he's not going to let that position go easily. Expect him to charge right back. A little bit further back in the field here. What do we have, Morgan?
We have Billings and Baldwin. There was 4 cars under a blanket here a moment ago. A couple of them dispersed, but we are moving and shaking all the way through this field. No one is able to hide, and no one is sitting still. Everyone's trying to get the spots they can get before the stage in about 30 laps.
Before the stage, before the next caution, whatever comes first. Track positioning might be more important than the patience that we were thinking earlier on. Still going to be side by side between these two. Billings and Baldwin, neither one of them willing to give an inch.
There's your now biggest mover of the race in that 48 car, Adam Holston, plus 11 after he got around Caleb Hunt.
His way
oh,
up
there goes the
top.
54! And no yellow.
There it is. Finally comes out, but after collecting the 48, are we going to get any more?
I guess not. I guess not.
The 77 learned his lesson.
Sure did. I was just going to say before that, there was something like 7 or I think there was 8 red, black, and white trucks lined up on the bottom to lead this race. I thought that was just worth mentioning.
As if it's not confusing enough coming in as a substitute commentator.
Yeah, look at this. Look at all these red, black, and white trucks on the bottom, all the way from the leader back to the 8.
As long as they don't all say Traxxas on the side, no. It looks like we've at least got something different.
Different sponsors, yeah. But same colors. Look at all of them on your screen here. What happened to the 5-4? Just loose off at 2. Oh, he got drilled in the door pretty good by the 48, and the 48 got clipped for his efforts. And, oh, someone went in there at 1,000 miles an hour. Who was that?
And then here comes the 77, hard on the brakes, just throws it in park.
We're not doing this another time. Understood. I got to see who that was who sailed on through there. You know we have to.
Absolutely.
So there's the spin. Watch the high side here. Oh, it was Gavin Hinson. A lot of drivers just about got caught up in that too.
Yeah, a lot of later reactions. Still can't help but laugh at 77, just full brakes. He even ended up in reverse. He said, I want no part of this one.
Yeah, understood though. I mean, destroyed the truck on that first hit where really that crash happened for a while before the contact was made. Don't want to make that same mistake twice. Like, look at all these similar paint schemes up the front. Like, it's just crazy. The first 4 rows are all trucks that have either white, red, or black as a base.
It almost feels like watching a real-life ARCA race with a Nitro team at the front of the field. There's very little distinguishing features up here in the top 10. Yeah. We've got the Stevenson machine. He's all right up there.
Yeah.
Number 1 inside line. We got another one back there a little ways. Couple rows deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 94 Whittington. But man, in the top 10, that's tough.
And then the 71 of Yates, and that's really it. Everything else is basically the same, right? I don't think that's what they were all going for. It's what they all got.
Pace truck lights are off this time. Coming through 3 and 4, dives down. Restart zone comes up. We're spaced out quite a bit. A small nudge there from the second row. Hubbard didn't get quite the jump I'm sure he was hoping for. Stevenson able to keep a challenge on the 24. But Brunelli right there as well.
We know Brunelli will push the issue if it comes to it. Speaking of pushing the issue, Luke Barnes all over the door of Merriman.
Going on back here inside the top 10, just outside of the top 10. Barnes and Merriman going at it. A couple rows behind, we've got another battle. It's going to be Hunt and Whittington. And Ullman and Jewett. There's a lot going on right here between 10th to 15th.
Yeah, Jewett's had a quiet night so far in the 45. Getting that spot away from Ullman. Is hung right around that top 10, just outside of it, 10 of the whole night. See if 45 can move forward in the patriotic scheme. Not typical designs on the side.
Taking a look to the inside of Trevor Yates. It's going to take a small run to make that move happen to the inside. Maybe even a small nudge to the back bumper entering the corner. But the 45 is going to back off for a little while. Yates challenging the battle between Hunt and Whittington. He's going to keep it safe, though. A small distance in case either one of these drivers make a mistake. You've got time to react to whichever hole opens up. Shoot that 71 truck right through it. Gain potentially 2 positions in one go.
I don't know how willing I'd be to go 3 wide here through the middle. Maybe on the bottom, should they wash up the racetrack, but I definitely wouldn't want to go 3 wide middle, 3 wide top gear. You'll get put in a bad spot in a heartbeat. Oh, Jewett, big slide up off the corner. He saved it.
Held onto it, but barely. He's going to get a small nudge there from Ullman. The 34 machine took a look to the inside. The 45 started to wash up. Collected it, brought it back down to the white line, and nearly had an issue between those two.
Would not be the first time they've made contact this season in amongst the 3 series. Up front.
Doesn't seem to. Go ahead there, Will.
Hubbard continues to lead the way, half second. Over Stevenson, Brunelli still hot in tow. Hawthorne in 4th, and then Noah, Hubbard's teammate in the 04 here. Luke Barnes in 5th. You notice exactly the same paint scheme on those truck slogans, so even adding to the confusion more. Gotta love that.
Yeah, why not? Might as well.
Might as well.
Keeps things interesting, and we've got a little bit of separation. For the first time this race, the leader doesn't have a truck right underneath the rear spoiler. Oh, Hubbard, a half-second advantage over Stevenson.
Yates
and a slide from the 71.
Wow.
A wheelman behind that one.
It certainly was. Only side-by-side battle on the racetrack right now is one on your screen, as there's a car in the grass. Is that an Opschneider? Sure is. Whittington and Hunt still cannot get this battle sorted.
You have to wonder, too, after a while, when does it start to slow down the drivers behind you to the point where they start to press the issue? But we're not going to find out as the yellow flag waves.
Wasaki.
Wysocki, the 11, backwards in the 1 and 2 corners. Got 54.
Oh, do we go 3 wide here? Oh, Tyner Willing just came all the way down the racetrack and got him. Yeah.
Came off the wall.
Let's try it again.
That is already confirmed by race control. 36 of Willing will pick up
that thing is
the black
tight.
flag.
Oh, boy.
Very tight.
Yikes.
Starts pushing every time you put a little bit of throttle input. Got tight off the corner. Still had some overcorrection in it. Never made contact with the wall. Just came right back down after those front tires finally grabbed hold of the racing surface.
Yeah, one of those push-loose situations. Usually see it at Dover, but that happened here in Pensacola. Too much wheel in it, as you mentioned. You get back on the straightaway when the car unloads, and all of a sudden it pulls itself straight back left, and you end up hooking somebody or spinning or whatever the case is. But Tyner
Willing just barely beat the pace truck out. Man, that was close.
Just got the pace truck, so we'll stay on the lead lap here, back in 24th spot. I was going to say before that, we saw Gavin Hinson with his spin earlier. He's up to 21st. Sherry's up to 23rd after that spin that happened a couple laps ago from up in 7th. Those drivers have not really moved forward all that much since their incident. So I wonder if it's just very difficult to pass here tonight. Maybe drivers can have to worry about track position more than tires or fuel or anything like that.
I think that will be the case here tonight. It's not been a heavily contested race after we get a couple of green flag laps in. It's all right off the drop. After a restart, you'll see some movement, but nothing too terribly crazy. And once we get 5 to 10 laps in, we start getting things single filed out. There's just not a lot of opportunity arising for these drivers. But we are going to have a sprint to the end of the stage at lap 70. So that was one of my questions I had queued up for you there, Morgan, but I hear race control in the background feeding all the information that I could possibly use.
I don't have it, so you're going to have to arm us both with it. Another launch. Here we go. Oh, almost an illegal lane change on the start for Merriman. Get that thing down
one of the
bottom lane. That would be a EOL you do not want to get here tonight.
That would be just about the worst outcome possible. Do not want to lose all that track position. Started up in the top 10. You've worked your way up to the top 3. Now the focal point is staying there for as long as possible.
That's the goal.
Because Merriman had a look there to the inside of Hawthorne. Nothing happened. Right now the 71 of Yates working the inside there to Witt. Nowhere really to go if he gets a big run. They've got Jesse Whittington just ahead. He keeps using that bottom line, so it's going to be a difficult pass of 45, starting to pick up some momentum off the outside line. He might get clear here this time.
Well,
he does.
Now to work on the 94 is behind them. This is for the final position in the stage. 34's got it, 48 wants it, 24 wants it worse.
There can only be one. Who's it gonna be? Right now,
oh,
it's
3
Ullman.
wide.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. There goes the 24 to the bottom. Will easily clear Ullman. Caution, I think, is going to be out. We got a parking lot on the backstretch.
And the 11 of Wysocki involved again. The 79 of Harold Tucker. And that will be the stage. The perfect timing. Brunelli was able to get into the top 10 right in time. We'll have a look back here on the V-Speed Instant Replay. The 3 wide.
Oh, that's
a separate 3 wide that we didn't catch. The 30 got sideways. The 79 and the 11 got together. They both visit the grass.
Yeah, let's see that one more time for a little higher up. I think this was just an aggressive 3-wide move gone wrong. Maybe just not quite understanding on the top side. They were 3 wide. Maybe the middle didn't quite have the room. I guess we're going to find out here in just a moment. See Hinson really driving into the gap here. And now, yeah, he just kind of got into the door of the 30.
30 got pretty lucky.
It
got an extra tap to straighten him back out. The 79 and the 11 obviously not faring so well.
They got the worst
interesting
of it.
To see
even still,
how race control calls this.
Didn't get that much. I mean, as far as damage goes, a little bit on the left front there of Wysocki, but really it was more position lost. Wasaki's already a lap down, the only car a lap down, but won't get the lucky dog because he was in the caution. And then Harold Tucker the third back in the 20s. Oh, there's the 81 was spun. That's interesting. What happened there? This was way after the caution. Not sure why. The 81 is up in the marbles. Oh, because he drove into the back of Gasheri. That'll do it. That will do it.
It's not typically how you want to do it, but that will do it.
That will be a penalty for later.
Pit lane is now open.
Everybody on pit road who didn't pit before, including Gary Baldwin Jr. Stevenson will lead them down pit road.
24 Brunelli, who just got into the top 10, collecting the final points for the stage. He has moved all the way up to the front and will be in control with Noah Hubbard, the 12, either to his inside or outside for this restart.
Yeah, the new driver up in the top 10. Joshua Gillen in the 01, up 16. Gavin Hinson finally up in the top 10. Tyner Willing as well. Gary Baldwin Jr. All these drivers, of course, not pitting under this caution, so this might be interesting up at the front of the field. The new tires trying to pass the old tires.
I don't know just how badly the tires are going to be an effect here. You know, it's going to be a very difficult call to make, you know, until we really start to see it happening. But it is, I don't know. We keep going back to track positioning being the priority. And I think we're going to have to double down on that one, Morgan.
I don't know why Baldwin has to fall all the way back. That's interesting. Maybe he was a wave around. Oh, I think he was a wave around. That's why. So move Baldwin out of the top 10. Back to 23rd, but still back on the lead lap. So great success there. Should be choosing this time.
We're going to send it through the choose this time. Some last second decisions being made
as we work our 6th caution of the day. I could technically say all are for cause because the stage, of course, came out a lap early because of the accident. So
back through turns 3 and 4. The field will catch up, get double filed after their choose. The pace truck lights will come off. Barney the flag man will grab that green flag and wait for these drivers to come around one more time. We'll take it back green to start lap 77. Not a whole lot of drivers having to use the fast repair so far despite the 6 cautions.
I see
You have 1 up here, 2 in the top 5 rather.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Brunelli, Hinson, the 2 you're talking about. We're back
Big
green.
stack up on that one.
Oh, the 01 did not go. That did stack up everybody behind them.
Surprised it didn't cause a bigger issue than it did. Joshua Gillen fell back on the inside lane. On the outside.
Oh, contact for the lead.
36. Ooh, good contact for the lead as well. The 24 slides up, slides in behind the 12. Will he repay the favor?
Oh, yes, he will.
He does.
Oh, boy, he got him. 3 wide potentially. No, this might just give the 04 the spot. Willing just got punted all the way to the outside. It's cautioned
and the
out
yellow
again.
flies again.
Whittington and McKern. There's Whittington. I think McKern came in later. 94. Jewett right behind him. I think Yates maybe has something to do with this. Yes.
Just enough of a touch to the left rear, spins it around. Almost everybody did get
Oh,
caught.
so McKern is not part of it, just stopped for it. So good on McKern, but
Well, that gives him the lucky dog too.
yeah, that's a good
So
move.
that's why you're on the brakes so hard.
That's
You
heads
do
up
not want to
driving.
lose that.
Really heads up driving. This is from Yates. Good to see him go in there and miss the bottom a little bit. Slide up. Right here. Slides up a little bit, hits the apron, and boop. 94.
I don't know if it's the right term, but I'm going to use it anyways. It kind of looked like a pirouette. Just a small little spin.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. Someone in the chat maybe can correct us on that one, but I think that's
I'm sure
probably
somebody will if I'm wrong.
as accurate, I think, as I could make. Well, the 2 Gazoo Racing Toyotas now up at the front. Just what every commentator wants to see, 2 identical cars leading a race.
I tell you what, I don't know how long that's going to stand. It's really going to come down to this choose because I know Brunelli is quite upset with that bump from Hubbard that pushed him out of the lead. I'd expect to see something a little bit more off of this restart than what we saw coming down into turn 3. That was just the slightest of taps to the back bumper of the 12.
Some shenanigans.
He might hold that in the back pocket until we get closer to the end.
Uh-oh.
Quick switch for front row.
They're lined up nose to tail.
You have to think the 24 probably held back a little bit there, coming to the choose to follow the 12. I don't know. Maybe I'm just here to stir the pot a little bit too much, Morgan. I should stop.
As long as it's seasoned well, that's all that matters. But we've seen all three of those top three, the 12, the 04, and the 24, all be very aggressive since joining Mystic Racing League. And if there's three drivers who are going to mix it up, you could bet those are the three who are going to do it. And Hinson right behind him, he's another one who I would throw in that mix as well. Gillen might just be in an unfortunate situation for that 01. That white and pink car on the outside who's just kind of minding his own business right now up here on strategy and be a unfortunate bystander should something occur.
Unfortunate bystander or best seat in the house? We'll find out as the green flag waves. And it's a side-by-side jump this time. Last couple, we've seen one lane dominant over the other. This time, the 12 finally gets clear out of turn 2. Here comes the 24, hard charging through the inside of the 04.
Oh, he sailed it off into turn 3. It stuck, but he didn't get to the back bumper of the 12. He's going to get there this time. Does he do something about it? Oh, they're wrecking behind him. Boot time. Stevenson, Hunt, and a whole bunch of other drivers. To be
not
continued.
As bad as I thought it would be.
That should have been worse. Happened right around here. I saw the one sideways first. 1854.01. I think they're all trying to work around. Gillen got in the wall. Yeah, Gillen got in the wall. The one tried to avoid it by going down the racetrack. And 19.
Ooh, there's a lot after that we didn't even notice. Look at all that on the inside wall.
I see it. I think Barnes got a big piece of this as well. Go back and look at it again. Watch that red and blue truck, the 27, top of your screen right now. He took a pretty big lick out of this. All starts from Gillen. The 01 right here hits the wall, checks everybody up. So there's the spin. The 8 gets into the back of the 19. 27 gets a big shot, and they all start spinning behind him. Kern's in it as well. Now let's see if we can ride aboard with Barnes. Should be a pretty good look at it. There's the spin. Where do you go? Boom. And he gets spun for his efforts. Park him out behind him. Swap meet down there in turn 2.
It looked like the state troopers in the center median of the interstate having a conversation.
Yeah.
Window to window there. That's not typically what you see on a racetrack.
Not ideal most of the time.
Tell you what, though, these drivers up at the front have to be getting anxious, waiting for a good long green flag run, or they are on the total opposite side of it, where Noah Hubbard is benefiting the most, collecting a bunch of laps led here. Already has crested the 60 number out of our 90, so 2/3 of this race in control by the 12. Having a pretty good go at it from that pole position.
Has been good so far. Not quite halfway yet. Have to wonder, can this continue? Of course, there are two different strategies, although they're not that far off. There's the drivers who pit 30 laps ago, including your leaders. Really, it's your entire top 7 with the exception of Merriman. Then a group that pit 20 laps ago. Then a group that just pit now, who's back 17th with Lewis, Jew, and everyone who's involved in the accident. So, be curious to see if it cycles out in a way that any one of those groups has the advantage, or if it's strictly going to be track position from here on out.
Well, Morgan, one of your Gazoo trucks, the 04 of Luke Barnes, was the recipient of a penalty for the restart. Fired off too early, got ahead of the race leader, and the 04 is going to go all the way to the back.
Yeah, that's less than ideal for the 04. Again, we haven't seen many drivers claw back from this on speed. The 54, the 39, the 27 all got stuck way back in traffic after a penalty or a spin or whatever the case is. It'll be a long road back.
Back at the choose. A lot of drivers electing for the bottom line this time. Still trying to get things sorted out back here. Get him doubled back up. Hubbard and Brunelli still side by side. This battle yet to go away. Likely won't until one of them ends up at the back of the field. Vincent, Merriman, Hawthorne making up your top five. Go ahead.
And at the rate that they are racing each other, it very well may be both of them at the back of the field. We'll see. We'll see. Christian Barnes with a black flag for some reason. Not sure what that's about. Either way, Pace Truck's going to dive in. Loud pedal. Here we go. Great jump for the 12.
Massive jump for Hubbard. Immediately gets away from all the contest. It's on for P3 behind, nearly 3 wide. We might have a look at 3 wide.
Oh, yes, they're big time 3 wide. Merriman dove it down in there. Hinson paid the price for it. Hinson's going to lose 2, maybe 3 out of that. Oh, and then it gets used up like a sherry.
More contact made. He's going to keep it to the outside of the 54 machine.
Oh, Willing just cleared 2 lanes of traffic. Thought that car was headed for the wall. I think we've had somebody spin. Luke Barnes, potentially? No,
Baldwin.
just off pit road here. Baldwin did spin, though.
Baldwin and the 11. Wysocki, the race has been a roller coaster for the 11.
I thought roller coasters had to go up.
Well, not in this case. He's been all over the board.
Oh, big checkup. 26 into the back of Jewett. Sorry, how about Jewett in the back of 26 and Wysocki? Just a little kith right there to make sure the 26 gets back pointed the right direction. Yes, 04 jumped the previous restart, had a black flag. That's why he had to serve the pass-through. Forgot about that. Just saw in timing and scoring a car plummet through the order. One more time here.
Worse than what I had imagined. I thought it was just the EOL.
Yeah.
A pass-through. Man, that's a bad deal there.
It was on the 14.
Got pretty lucky.
Go for a slide there. That's what really triggered this. Dave Billings. Bit of a wobble, checked up. Everyone behind him had to slow down. But honestly, the big winner out of that caution was Luke Barnes. Because he's able to get the lucky dog right now. Cleared pit road. Should be good to go.
He's working around the outside of the field now to get back onto the lead lap. So perfect timing for the 04.
Yeah, couldn't
have gotten much more lucky.
No, that's like perfect timing.
That leaves McKern and Wysocki, the only 2 drivers 1 lap down, still in the race. Notable mentions, Seth Heyman in the 30, Jared Knopfschneider, both early retirements in this one. So take our 27 car field down to 25. And again, we still only have about 5 or 6 drivers that have utilized that fast repair.
Yeah, still a lot of cars for 5 flags.
This track is extremely packed with nearly 30 in the field. It takes a half mile and makes it look like a quarter mile at times, especially whenever we get slowed down like this for the choose and Sometimes you'll see that pace truck working into turn 3 before the entire field has made their decision.
Yeah, and there is the pace truck. There it is. You're right. Yeah, tight racetrack. And, I mean, we haven't even seen lap traffic yet. We haven't raced long enough under green to be able for the leaders to catch the back of the field. So if we ever get that, which at this rate is not likely, that will also add another element of having to work through the slower cars on the racing line you want to be on.
Yeah, it makes a whole new challenge for the race. And, cresting the halfway point, you have to wonder, will these drivers settle in, find their rhythm? Race control likely won't be too happy with the performance in the first half of this race.
Not just race control.
Drivers as well.
Broadcasters too. And off of turn 4, green. Here we go.
12 with another great jump. Hawthorne able to follow that time. Brunelli falls back on the bottom line, side by side for P4, P6. Henson Merriman, Gasheri, and Yates.
Quartet now down to a duo. Yates and Gasheri side by side. This was a battle for the lead. Hawthorne got there to the quarter of Hubbard. Here comes 24 back again.
24 might end up helping the 15. Still on a blood hunt for the 12 of Hubbard. Side by side at the front. Hawthorne got there, but couldn't do anything with the drive off the bottom. Opens up the door, and there he goes.
Oh, he saved it. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
What a wheel man. Holy cow.
That was the move I was expecting to see the 24 perform on the 12, but, man, Hawthorne just caught in the crossfire. That one, a fantastic recovery, and only losing 2 positions from that, potentially 2 positions, is huge.
Yeah, now rebounded, probably going to stabilize here, but that's kind of the hazard of taking that wide arc into the corner, is you leave yourself open to the dive bomb on the bottom, but you've already committed to the corner. You can't turn back right, or else you're going to just run into the fence. So you kind of got what you got.
Now you have to think, too, Hubbard has an opportunity to get as far away from Brunelli as possible before Hawthorne gets there. That was a brutal hit. I still don't know how the 15 was able to save it, but a fantastic drive nonetheless. A little bit further back, it's the 54 of Gasheri, was taking a look at the inside of Merriman.
Dave Billings has gone around.
Settled out. Yep, Billings down into the grass. The 5 Flags lawn mowing service open for business. Back going the right way, though. This one might get our leaders involved. We might see some lap traffic for him this time.
For those Zachary King fans, so Lillian, I'm looking at you. Zachary King has entered this race. First time today, 107 laps down. The helicopter flew in a little bit late, but got here nonetheless. We are all stacked up behind Tyner Willing and Steven Addison. And this is for 10th. Oh, big slide for Tucker.
Yeah, Jewett and Tucker just behind him. Nearly 3 wide there. Holston thought about it, thought better of it. Stevenson trying his recovery effort. Saw that number 1 machine up at the front of the field for quite a while. It's fallen out of the top 10. Trying to work his way back up to it, claw through this field. The door was left open by the 48. The 36 nearly got
sliding
there.
Oh, man. Oh, and there goes Jewett.
They're all sliding.
And they're wrecking.
There's across the nose.
And no yellow.
Jewett still trying to collect it. Jeez.
Oh, man. Yeah, that is, man, Jewett just lost like 8 spots out of that. Oh, they're spinning behind him now. Baldwin Jr.'s around. In the grass.
Off the racing surface in reverse, trying to get it out of the way. There's the yellows. The leaders fly by.
Yikes.
What a sequence.
That was certainly one of the sequences. And Baldwin with a meatball flag somehow. We'll watch Baldwin first, and we'll go back and see everything else after.
Well, that started coming out of turn 4 and it finished at the entry of turn 3.
Yeah, I mean, Baldwin's was completely on his own, though. Nothing to do with that other accident at all. Just spun on his own. But you're right. We go back to Willing. This is kind of where it all started. It's up off the corner. Willing got super sideways. Jewett had to slide to avoid it. And then he got crossed up with the 8. Jewett still trying to save it. And that's how it happened.
We got quite a few drivers down into pit lane.
I'd have to think we can make to the end from here. That's got to be it.
At the pace that we've gone with the cautions, the fuel run has been extended quite a bit.
Looks like it. Yeah, we are not at the most awe-inspiring pace for cautions. So 1 every 12 laps, a little bit worse than.
5 lead changes, keeping things interesting up at the front. Adam Holston, the benefactor of the latest lead change. The 48 will have control of this restart. Dustin Lewis will either be to the inside or outside. Road number 2, Gillen and White. And it's Yates, Hubbard behind that.
I really hate it for Dave Billings. Put together a normal pit stop, 13.6 in the box, and still went a lap down to the leader based on how short this pit road is. That's frustrating.
Very, very frustrating.
You work so hard to get the lap back and you lose it on just a routine pit stop. Nothing you did wrong, just the way the track's set up. It's almost worth, in that case, speeding off pit road and taking the EOL, like the end of line penalty, over losing a lap, you know?
Yeah, and the 79 is going to fall victim to it too now. Just didn't beat the pace truck out of pit lane.
Another one where just speed. I don't usually advocate for breaking the rules, but that's a case where the racetrack you need to. That's the only way that you can not lose all the positions you just worked to gain.
And bad enough too, Harold Tucker's been involved in quite a few incidents so far this afternoon, but none of which have really been of his doing.
Right.
Just wrong place, wrong time, multiple times. Will be the first car a lap down from the leaders.
Which is even worse for Billings.
This is I don't know. That's a tough one to get around.
Yeah, it is. A lot of drivers having a lot of incidents tonight. McKern, part of that as well. Seen Wasaki around a few times. Zach White obviously has been well documented. Barnes, Jewett, Caleb Hunt. And then that one accident earlier, Gavin Hinson's been in a couple. Yeah, just a lot of the regulars having some tough nights tonight.
A lot of open drivers up here in the top 5. Everybody aside from Adam Holston. The 48 in control from the bottom line. The 8 of Lewis out top. And a massive jump. That's the biggest one that we've seen so far this race from the control car.
Like the top side had their blankie and pillow out because they had a little nappy poo on the restart there.
Definitely fell behind the curve as we're 3 wide down into 3.
Oh, I don't
71
like that.
on the bottom.
Wow, how did they
Hubbard.
not wad it up out of turn 4? Oh, there goes the 15 around in front of the field.
There it might be.
Oh, we did go around. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
Well, Pensacola, Florida, we are close enough to NASA. 36 tried to take flight.
Tried so hard to take flight. Oh, my goodness. Yikes. Hold on to your lunch, folks. We're about to experience a lot of G's here. These two trucks just get stuck together. And the 36, as we're stuck on the camera, has nowhere to go. I don't think I've ever seen 2 trucks just get stuck together like that.
I've never seen one just completely stop.
Yeah, that was baffling.
Immovable force versus the unstoppable, or the unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
Yes.
Classic case of it.
Yes. The most classic case. Yeah, here you go. Just merch. And then where does the 36 go? Nothing he can do, and Jewett's in another one.
And the 04 Barnes, I didn't even realize that's who got into it.
Yeah, that was the truck that just got stuffed. Yeah, tons of damage on the 04. And Willing got a meatball flag out of that as well. Already used the fast repairs. That's probably going to be day over as far as competitive racing for the 36. Oh, Hawthorne went a lap down with the spin. Oh, man. He's going to try and get it back, but it's going to be, nope, not going to get it. Yeah, that's another strike against why there's a reason we don't race this place in trucks on regular iRacing schedules, and there's a really good reason as to why. I mean, we've already seen 5 drivers get trapped a lap down just by completing a normal pit stop. I mean, they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't take an extra long stop. That was a normal, 16-second stop in the box, and he lost a lap because of it.
Taking a look up at the front, Hubbard and Brunelli still unable to get away from each other.
Tied together.
Brunelli is filling up that rearview mirror. We're going to extend this one more time around as the rest of the field catches up. Man, that was the biggest one we've seen so far, at least, Morgan.
Yeah. I don't usually expect to see multi-car pileups that involve rollovers here in Pensacola, Florida, but we saw one down there bottom at 1 and 2, and a very slow rollover at that. Like a leverage rollover more than like a high-speed rollover almost.
Yeah, it almost looked like slow motion. I'm sure it didn't feel like it sitting in the seat. The pace truck comes off, and back on the loud pedal we go. Holston, another great jump from the inside line. 0-1 of Gillen falls behind. The 12 of Hubbard on the move. Brunelli right in tow. Where does Hubbard go?
3 wide.
Around the outside, apparently.
Yeah, Hubbard's got a lot of speed
work
here, and so does the 24. They're going to split at 48 3 wide here if he's not careful.
Holston gets back down to the bottom, blocks the run for the 24 to the inside line. 24 did get to witness the outside maneuver working, left the door wide open in 1 and 2. Brunelli gets through.
The top 3 settled out. Everyone behind him has not settled out. 54, 01, the 18. A bunch of drivers back here just scrapping for spots. 54 is hungry, finally sees the front of the field after been a long road back for Gasheri. Needs to get around Yates to really start to put pressure on these front 5 or so.
I can't tell what is going on with the 0-1 right now. The Gillen not faring so well. Has fallen back a couple spots here from the start.
Does have quite old tires on that car. Comparatively.
Yeah, we are looking at 35 laps. It's a 15 lap advantage roughly, as opposed to the drivers around him besides Adam Holston. I think Holston side by side with Stevenson. Stevenson taking a look for P3 now.
Yeah, Stevenson's got those fresher tires too. Holston's got the worst tires in the field right now. Stevenson's going to go clear easily for 3rd. I'm really watching this Hinson and Yates battle. They were really leaning on each other. Gillen and Gasheri battle for 5th, apologies.
White and pink 01 on the top.
Oh, Gasheri went way high.
39 and Henson dove it way down to the bottom too, made up a lot of ground into 3.
I think partially because the 54 sailed it off in there so deep it made the 01 hesitate a little bit. Made that
now
spot
Henson
easy.
will get by. Very easy indeed. Still not entirely clear, but should be out of 4. Does slide up in front of the 01 now.
Brunelli and Hubbard side by side for the race lead and still dooring each other.
Can't keep it off of one another. Puts the door to the 12, sends him up the track. The 24, Brunelli, finally gets to repay the favor and reclaims the lead.
I mean, Brunelli entered in the middle of the racetrack. He had no intention of going to the bottom. And you can tell Hubbard is driving the wheels off of it to get back to the rear bumper of the 24.
He's got a great drive into turn 3 and 4. Keeps it pretty close, but I think Brunelli just a touch better through 1 and 2. It's going to be about who can keep the rear tires underneath the truck the longest. Putting together a bit of a green flag run right now.
Yeah, so far, so good. It's about the longest run we've had today.
Three still wide. Trying to defend this position. 3 wide, hits into the bottom.
Thought it was going to end right there.
I did as well. That was it was looking pretty hairy before we got the camera to it, but single files back out. Gasheri able to claim P4. Henson moves around Holston. 48 back to P6. Merriman, Gillen, Whittington, Yates making up the rest of your top 10. Oh, the big slide from Holston.
Yeah, those 54 lap bolt tires are hurting right now. Just hanging on for dear life.
They certainly weren't expecting to see a green flag run here. The 18 to Merriman through the inside. He did just get loose off of turn 2. Now Holston has Gillen and Whittington both trying to work through. Following the 18.
Whole field's dog tracking right now. Everyone is sideways.
Yeah, at some point during a race with these trucks, it's just going to turn into a constant who can hold the best left-hand drift.
Especially on a track this short with this much, like the kind of quarter radius the way it is, you're not going straight very long before you set up for the next corner.
Very similar to Chicagoland in that sense on the back straight, where it's never perfectly straight.
We'll kind of see it here. I mean, you come off the corner, you get a minute to breathe, and then you're back on it again. Sunboard with Ullman back in 12th.
Good job of keeping it off the door, the 71, but does relinquish that position. Trevor Yates, P11. Some breathing room behind Ullman, though. Oh, and a big slide from Holston again, really starting to struggle. 58 laps on those tires now.
Yeah, Holston is parking the bus in the center of the corner. Cannot get the power down. Right in front of Lewis. Oh, where the 8 can go.
The 8's going to shoot right to the middle. No, thinks better of it. Probably glad that he did as Holston slid up out of turn number 2. Nearly got to the door of the 71. Has to work around that yellow and blue machine as quickly as possible, however. Because this is only going to yield more spots. Finally, Holston pulls it off the racing line.
Yeah, just realized that he was just going to get junked, I think, if he kept trying to do that. It's behind him with Saki and Trey. Battle for 17th spot. Oh, he had a big slide. Holy cow. Let's go back and see Dustin Lewis have potentially the save of the day. Watch this. This is where the 8 got out of the way, or the 48 got out of the way. '71 had a moment. 8 dives into the corner. It just steps out. Ooh, that thing was sideways.
Being that it stepped out so hard on corner entry, that just really seals the deal, knowing that these drivers are putting a lot of rear brake bias into these trucks, trying to slow down and maximize the rotation. Obviously, in a couple cases, over-rotating. And now we're starting to see some multi-groove racing. Trucks all over the track, inside, outside, middle. Right now, Brunelli has gotten away 1.1 seconds over Noah Hubbard.
Yeah, by far the biggest lead we've seen today from anybody.
Certainly helps to put together a green flag run to be able to extend that lead. I don't see anything side by side right now. Nothing even all that close.
This is the closest battle on the racetrack right now. Ullman behind Gillen.
Some lap traffic in the mix as well. This is 26.
Gary Baldwin Jr.
Baldwin Jr.
Yeah,
Jinx,
bad
you owe me
day.
a Coke.
Bad day for him. I'll mail it to you. It took a minute when we got there.
Yeah, it always comes full circle, just like the racetrack here at Five Flags Speedway.
Wow.
I had to.
Oh my goodness.
If we're going to talk about mailing a beverage.
I'll make sure to take it out of the bottle for you too.
It's like the milk in the bag. As we got some connection issues there. I believe that was 77 of Zach White.
You bet.
Small contact with the wall, a couple blinks. Keeps it up at the top of the track just in case. Good call, great racer awareness there, staying out of the way. But the yellow comes out. Oh, it looks like Jewett.
That is 3 of them for the 45. Not that he's caused any of them, but he has been in at least 3 accidents so far and can't get spun around. So he's going to lose a ton of time, already down a lap. Yep, been one of those seasons for Derek Jewett.
First, Terry.
Back a little further here. Oh, this is now, if there's one thing that's going to make your blood boil, it is the 107 lap down truck spinning out a lead lap car. And here we go. Oh, okay, Jewett got loose. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw the tail end of
You had me
this.
nervous.
I was going to say, I thought that Zachary King got up into him. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Jewett gets loose, comes across the nose. But regardless, frustrating day for Jewett, just gets a little bit worse.
You had me quite nervous there.
I
If that
was-
was the case.
I was about to start throwing stuff. I was going to be real upset here. But fortunately, that was not what happened. That it was just wrong place at the wrong time for King, who is now 108 laps down. Actually fighting for not being last. Came into this race 107 laps later and is going to pass Jared Knopfschneider in about, all he has to do is go past the 9 that's sitting right there. Unprobable the race for last is right now. Incredible.
And on top of that, he'll have an opportunity to gain one more spot
with Heyman. Yeah.
Zachary King does get around Knopfschneider, so will not finish last in this race.
Improbable. It's the improbable drive.
Will likely end up finishing 26th.
Incredible. What an effort today. Only needed half the race to finish 26th. Incredible.
That is, top tier grassroots. You broke your car in practice or you broke your car in qualifying. You got it fixed. You made it out there. You're just having the time and being on the track. But
you put the electrical tape number on the side. Yeah, I'm with it.
Ran down to Napa down the street and picked up some spray paint.
Zip ties holding things together.
Oh, zip ties are everywhere on that machine.
Yeah, duct tape body panels. Yeah, beat with a hammer every corner.
We will be choosing this time by.
I feel like everyone here feels like they've been hit with a hammer tonight. Just from one of those races.
I don't think that there's any single car in the field that does not have at least 2 incident points.
Yeah, then looking through the field, I think you're right, actually. Everyone's been part of something here tonight. I don't think anyone is free. Maybe, Addison ran to the back of Sherry. I was going to say maybe Addison, but I think you're right. I think everyone's been involved in something.
Now that you say that, I don't recall that we have talked about the 81 of Steven Addison once. So that might be the only truck.
Other than when he ran to the back of Gasheri, yeah.
Yeah. That was... Well, we had a nice green flag run there.
We did.
Let's see if these drivers can put it back together. We're inside 40 to go, so this kind of evens the playing field a little bit for some of those drivers like Holston, who fell way back on the older tires. Now it's just the top 5 on the old tires. Brunelli, Stevenson, Merriman, Whittington, Ullman. As the green flag waves, entering the restart zone, control car, the 24 of Brunelli, doesn't quite get the jump that we've been seeing. 3 wide immediately.
Ullman just got shoved out of the way.
I don't even know how that didn't end up in a crash. The 54 bullying his way up through the field now.
Oh my goodness, 12's in the wall. Merriman and the 12 got hooked together and put Hubbard square into the fence. First car on new tires. Oh, they're about to be 3 wide. 18 got shoved out of the way. Leaders better look out because Hubbard's got 4 fresh ones and so does Hinson, and they are on a roll right now.
That was a fantastic move by Hubbard. The inside out pays off. Immediately charging around the outside, the 1 of Stevenson.
This is a no contest. Look how much better the 12 is through the center.
Absolutely.
1 corner, easy clear.
The only thing that would save the 24 right now is a string of cautions, but once we get to the green-white checkers, I don't think it would matter. The 1 of Stevenson has issues.
New leader, Noah Hubbard again. Back to the point.
Holston
is going to get there.
Holston fell out of the top 10, took tires, and now has worked his way back to the top 5 with room to grow. Will likely get at least 1 more position. Gasheri putting pressure on Brunelli. Brunelli a slide out of turn 2. Gasheri gets by through the inside before turn 3. Here comes Holston, same line.
And Caleb Hunt as well on the charge. Really quiet day for the 19. Haven't really said his name tonight, other than that one incident he had, which really just kind of happened in his lap. But really, this is probably the best run the 19's had all season in all 3 series. He made it past lap 2, so that's much better than earlier in the season in Michigan. We are
still has an opportunity for a couple more spots. A gaggle of race cars back here. Sliding on the bottom is the 79. Nearly 3 wide. The 18 on the bottom, the 84 in the middle. Apologize, the 94, Whittington.
There's some drivers struggling in this group. For sure. Stevenson also on the bus right now. That 1 is moving backwards with those very old tires. Brunelli's held on the best in 6th, but even still, he is under fire from everyone around him.
I mean, that's the exact same thing we just saw with Holston and company. 0-1 challenging now, makes contact with the 24. 24 makes contact with the wall. Luckily enough room to navigate.
Now we thought about it, he just wasn't quite close enough to pay a piece of his mind back to the 01.
It's Harold Tucker in the 79 trying to get around Stevenson. That will put Stevenson outside of the top 10. A 3-car battle here. As Brunelli continues to fall, the 71 gets by Yates. Now it's Lewis through the inside. A lot of drivers making contact with the wall out of turn 4, but not enough to do any sort of damage to these cars. Something you really want to do over and over again. As Whittington now trying to get by through the inside, has a slide off the bottom of the corner, leaves Stevenson just ahead as we're on board a little bit further back in this mix. 27 to Christian Barnes.
Yeah, just fighting through a hornet's nest right now, and you can see that battle you're talking about, the 94 and the 1 at the end of this train. But there's just no way to get there. 2x2 all the way up to it. Even with new tires, where are you going to go?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on where the door opens, and the doors just aren't opening right now. You could pull a Noah Hubbard or a Tristan Brunelli and send it through the middle. But you really have to trust your stuff, as Brunelli,
watch the hands,
really struggling.
And there it goes.
There it goes.
Well, we watched the hands
sideways.
Too well. So this be a caution. It's got to be a caution, right?
You'd have to imagine
there it is.
It's a late one, but there it goes.
Barney stared at it for a while, but finally drew the yellow. That changes everything. Saw it
just
live, but
inside 20.
Let's watch it again here. Yeah, just loose out of 4, and that's that.
Not too bad of contact with the inside pit wall.
It's about as minimal as you can have.
24 obviously will inherit the EOL. We're going to have a lot of this group bring it down. This will pretty well be from 11th place back. All visiting, maybe even a couple more drivers. Gasheri, Lewis, Addison, Wysocki, Hubbard. Apologize, Hubbard is in pit lane. Wysocki, Addison, Lewis, Gasheri all staying out.
I'd be nervous if... Yeah, there's only 4. You mentioned staying out. I'd be nervous if I was those 4. With we're going to have, what, 12 laps to go? Something like that when we get back fired off. That's a lot of time to hold off a fresh, tired Noah Hubbard, Gavin Hinson, Whittington, Hunt, etc. I'd be pretty nervous if I was Gasheri, Lewis, Addison, or Wysocki up here.
Well, the only good thing working in their corner right now is Hubbard did only elect for 2 tires.
Okay.
Took right side tires and a little extra fuel just to keep the weight balanced.
Right.
Jesse Whittington pulled the same strategy as well as Sean Merriman. A little bit further back there. But the rest of the field will have taken 4 tires.
Yeah, I think Hinson's in the best spot here with the 4 tires restarting in row 3. He's on the outside too. If he can find a way to get around, he's going to be lined up behind Wysocki. If he can get around Wysocki and with a sight on the front row, he could be the one who walks away with the win here tonight. Sorry, he's behind Hubbard. Apologies. He's got to get around Hubbard.
Which isn't a bad place to be at all. Hubbard has been great on the restarts, so that's a good spot.
Yeah, Hinson's actually lining up back at the 8th spot, so that's even a little bit harder to get there. But outside's been great to jump with here tonight. There's room out there, as you can see. I mean, it's going to be some elbows out here the final 15 or so laps. I can feel it.
Well, the inside line does have control with the 54 Gasheri at the head of the field. Lewis will really have to focus on trying to nail this launch and stay as side-by-side as possible. There's a lot of variables at play here. But the pace truck comes off. The green flag waves again. The 54 turns down the hill, gets a great run out of turn 4. Well clear of the 8, side-by-side, 3 rows deep.
That might be an illegal restart for the 12. He changed lanes to go to the middle pretty early. It's going to get looked at later. But he's already sailing to the middle, 3 wide. Oh, they're spinning behind him. 71's around. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Restart is under review by race control.
And we'll look at it too if we got a minute here, just to see what happens with the 71 first. But I'm pretty sure he moved down too soon. The 12, that is. Yeah, off into the corner. 18 gets loose. Up into the door of the 71, and yeah, that's all it takes. Let's watch here on the initial start. So the rule is you have to stay in line to not advance your position. That's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know.
It is really hard to say because he
Yeah.
was almost at the launch already in the middle line.
Yeah, let's watch it one more time here on this restart. This is a big call. This determines probably who wins this race.
Yeah, very, very likely will.
Remember, Addison and Gasheri in front of old tires. I mean, right there, he's obviously in the middle. I don't know. That's a tough one. I wouldn't want to have to make that call right now because, yeah. I know everyone
Either
knew what he
way-
was trying to do. The whole field knew he was going to go to the middle. It's just when did he go to the middle was the question.
In either way, somebody will likely be upset by the call made.
Right.
But the official call on the cause of caution will be the 18 getting loose.
Makes sense.
So Merriman, that was one of our 2-tire drivers, by the way. So you have to question now, the Wasaki Whittington Hubbard combo. How well can that work out for them? Apologize, Wasaki's still in the old tires, but Hubbard and Whittington, they're 2-tire guys as well. Hubbard put a little bit more thought into it though,
With the fuel.
putting some extra weight in the tank versus the other two.
I think the other concern, too, is that the 18 had a car right on his door. The 12 hasn't had that yet, at least not of the same speed, right? Because he's obviously faster tires than both Gasheri and Lewis. But back to the 12 for a minute. I don't think this is going to go as a penalty, and the reason is because I don't believe he gained any advantage by diving to the middle there. Like he wasn't alongside by the time they got to the flag and all that. By the time they got to turn 1, then he made the move. So I think he's going to be okay. Just it'll be interesting to see the rest of the way here as we get doubled up. The 12 to the bottom now going to be behind the control car. That is a great move for Noah Hubbard.
Absolutely. And, going back to that, that's kind of borderline what I was saying there. He was almost in the middle lane at the launch, and he continued to hold that lane. So it's almost one of those things you'd have to get way more people involved in almost a board of a vote.
We saw which we will later, mind you. We saw a very similar situation last week actually happen where a driver was trying to avoid spinning tires, and that one was far, far more egregious than this one was. So I think we're going to be quite all right with the way that was called. We'll talk about it in post, as we say. And post is not that far away, as we only got 5 laps in regulation left.
Green flag waves, and away we go again here for the last 10 laps of the race. Hubbard already applying the pressure to the inside line of Gasheri. Gasheri, a good run off of turn 2, but will not be able to defend down into turn 3. Hubbard dives it down to the bottom, gets clear out of turn 4, and nearly sideways goes the 94 Whittington behind, still trying to gain his positions here with that tire call.
Yeah, Whittington and Hinson on those newer tires. Yeah, Lewis trying to fight tough on the outside on the old tires. I don't think it's going to work for him. Oh, 3 wide. I don't like this at all. Can we roll through the center? It looks like it, yes. Lewis will lose the time on the exit. Good battle here. For the first
Great battle.
interview spot in third. Hinson got
39
loose.
gets loose. The 94, this is 2 tires against 4. Side by side behind him, the Ada Lewis still trying to hold on to a top 5. Does not want to let Caleb Hunt go, but it looks like the 19 will prevail. Hinson gets the nose ahead of Whittington, diving down into turn 1. Not quite clear, almost drove up the track, and that does slow Whittington down enough. Hinson claims third for now.
2 more times around. Going to bring it 1 more time. Oh, there goes Holston around. Adam Holston spins in front of the field. White flag is out. This will end the race. Once Noah Hubbard clears 3 and 4 and captures the flag here in Pensacola.
Side by side behind for P2. Hinson gets Jerry, and I believe it's Hinson.
Hubbard gets the win. Hinson gets second over Gasheri. We'll chat with those 3 in a bit. Everyone has finished the race. Let's go back and see if we can find this photo finish. There it is. That's how close it was. Is he wrecked behind him?
Couple cars making contact with the wall. Henson was loose off of 4, but kept the hammer down and beat Gasheri to the line.
Let's have a chat. Or let's first go over your results. How about that? Let's get things in the right order. Noah Hubbard from the pole led a ton of laps today and will end up getting the win here tonight. Gavin Henson into the second position. Jonathan Gasheri in the third spot. We'll talk with them in just a few moments. Whittington will come home in fourth spot. Caleb Hunt, best run of the season, will finish in the fifth position. Sixth for Dustin Lewis, seventh for Joshua Gillen. Stevenson back in the eighth spot. Hawthorne in ninth. And Wasaki, what a rebound for the 11, finishes in 10th.
Just outside of the top 10 is the 34 of Ullman, followed up by the 71 of Yates. Barnes in the 27 takes home 13th, with Brunelli in the 24 falling from the top steps of the podium back to 14th. Addison takes home 15th. Merriman with a late race mishap falls back to 16th. Tucker in 17th. Holston falls all the way back to 18th. Billings and White will round out the top 20.
21st for Gary Baldwin Jr. Craig McKern finishes 22nd. Derek Jewett 23rd. What an awful night for the 45. Luke Barnes in 24th. Tyner Willing 25th. Zachary King, he ended up finishing 26th like we said. Came in late. Heyman 27th. Knopfschneider 28th. And Bollinger did not start the race. Will finish in 29th. Now let's catch up with your race winner. That is going to be Noah Hubbard. Noah, Morgan, and San up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
All right. Winner, chicken dinner here in Pensacola, Florida. And it was not always easy, although the 116 laps led makes it look fairly easy. Why don't you talk me through how your day went from behind the wheel?
Yeah, I had a pretty fast truck the whole race. Got put back in traffic a little bit because of strategy and stuff like that. And then I think probably about around lap 120, I think it was, or 130, something like that, we were battling for the lead with Tristan, and he kind of ran me up into the third groove after that. And yeah, I didn't really have much left, so that caution kind of helped me. And pretty sure he stayed out right there, and I came down and took 4 and drove back to the front. And then we had the caution again with 15 to go, 20 to go, something like that. And I came down, I only took 2 tires that time and just put on the right sides there because the left sides didn't really wear, and it I think it was definitely faster on 2 tires for sure.
It looked like you put a little bit of fuel in as well on that stop. Was that the case on that final stop? A little bit of fuel to maybe help the balance a bit?
I don't think so. I mean, I didn't. If I did, it wasn't on purpose.
Interesting. I just wondered because you were a little bit slower in the box than everyone else was, about 9/10 slower than everyone else.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that was 2 guys stopped short of my box. I was kind of messing with my.
Gotcha.
I was kind of messing and getting my tires right. That's probably what it was.
Gotcha. Yeah. Either way, fuel, no fuel, 2 tires, 4 tires. This thing was bad fast tonight. You mentioned, I want to go back. You mentioned the contact with Brunelli. It looked like you two were driving pretty hard out there. Got to lean on each other, a little short track racing. Any hard feelings there, or is it just simply, he has the lead, I want the lead, or vice versa?
I mean, he was mad that I think one other time at the very beginning of the race, I kind of bounced off of him like 3 laps in on the straightaway. I didn't mean to or whatever, and I think he was still kind of mad from that, and yeah, just ran me up the track or whatever. But, I mean, it's whatever, I guess.
You seem to have won the battle here today, nonetheless. It doesn't particularly matter, I don't think, for Noah Hubbard in that regard. But, I mean, you talked about being back in the pack a little bit, had to fight through some traffic. What was the racing like in the pack versus at the front here when you got to control it?
I mean, well, most of the time I was in the back, I was on 4 tires, so, I had or at least, fresh tires. So I at least had the advantage of, having the speed to like get around them. So I was just trying to, I stuck the truck wherever there was a hole basically to get back to the front. So I didn't get behind the people that I was actually racing for the lead,
Right.
So I was trying to kind of be aggressive there, but also, not wreck somebody and then have to go to the back again. I had to come back to the front.
Yeah, understood. And got the win here. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out for what was an excellent, dominating day here at Five Flags?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my teammate Luke Barnes. He wasn't able to finish the race, and Barnes Performance Engines.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Noah. Congratulations, and hopefully enjoy your stay here in Sofa News Victory Lane.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Noah Hubbard, race winner here in Florida. Now we'll take a skip down to second spot, Gavin Hinson. Logan's caught up with him.
And we've got Gavin Hinson down here. Didn't get any laps led tonight, but did gain the most positions throughout the course of the race. Gavin, tell me a little bit about your drive up here to the front. Where did you find your keys to success to make your way up to the podium at Five Flags?
Well, I had to flip the first stage. That was really a vital part of getting track position and just staying up there, trying to pick the right strategy or the right times to go down pit road and get tires and try to stay in the hunt for the win. And it was tough. I enjoyed none of this tonight. I mean, the racing wasn't good. Said it was trash. I mean, track was not good at all. I didn't enjoy it. I had to wheel it a lot to pass all these trucks tonight. So I guess that in that sense, it was fun to pass everybody, I guess. I don't know. It was pretty difficult.
Well, I can promise you, you weren't the only one. There's a lot of action out here in the field, a lot of drivers behind the wheels of these trucks tonight. Now, excuse me, the race at hand, there's a lot of opportunity to make a tire call. We had 14 cautions on the event, so a lot of them falling in the first half. We had a great green flag run in the second half of the race. What was the strategy coming into this one, and how much did you have to change that on the fly?
I really didn't have a strategy. I've never raced here. I just bought the track this evening. So as far as that goes, I don't really know. I mean, just treat it as, any other race, I guess, but I couldn't get a qualifying time in because it was unbelievably loose and, spun out both times, both laps, and had to start from the back. And that's I don't strategize that. I don't like having to come from deep in the field. I've made it work, but it's not it's not fun for the first half of the race. But just as it presented itself with the caution at lap 60, I was able to come down and flip the stage and stay out and come out maybe fifth or sixth, and that changed the race. Most of the wrecks were in the middle to the back half of the pack, and that's really never where you want to be in this league. Just in general, you don't want to be there. So it was good on my part that I made that decision to get that track position and pay it off with a second.
Well, for somebody who just bought the track on race day, it's an impressive finish nonetheless. Gavin Hinson, congratulations on P2 for the 39 team. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, as always, I'd love to shout out Ross Custom Wraps. He's great at what he does. Anybody wants a paint scheme, he's the guy to hit up. He's really good. Shout out Waterforce Racing, the 27 and the 60 truck. They didn't have that great of a night, but every dog has its day. So I was glad to carry the team banner tonight. And shout out to you guys. You guys do a great job at the broadcasting and stuff. I like going back and watching, and glad to be on V-Speed for sure.
We'll love to have you, Gavin. Thanks for your time, buddy. We'll catch up with you next week at Charlotte.
Thank you.
Put the hammer down, kept it just ahead of Gasheri, who, Morgan Cook, I believe you've caught up with our third place finisher now.
Jonathan Morgan sat up in the booth. You got a copy. Jonathan, you got a copy.
10-4.
Well, we're good now. We hear you. Wild night for you. Up in the top 10 for a while, part of the parade of red, black, and white trucks up at the front. Had that spin. Really struggled to gain track position back after that spin. I imagine you probably flipped the stage with Hinson. to get back, pole vaulted back up there. And then from there, you kind of just hung out around the top 10 and ended up with the top top 3 here. I mean, how hard was it to drive this truck and make passes out here tonight?
I would say, the truck drove very great. The only a stop sign in the road was when Adam Holston hit the wall in front of me. It gave me wheel damage, and I would have used my fast repair. So from that point on, it's kind of brutal to try to keep up with everybody, especially at the end, because the strategy was to stay out. And I felt like, I gave Noah Hubbard a fight for a solid 2 laps, but I felt like if I didn't have that wheel damage, I probably could have done a little more, but he was also the guy to beat. But, I wanted to race him harder. I wish I could have raced him harder, but it was just going to screw both of us because I ended up losing out to Hinton at the end. So it was a hard truck to drive with the wheel damage, but it was a great race for me, besides the self spin. Yeah.
I mean, you got to chalk it up as a win at the end of the day when you boil it down to only car in the top 5 on the off strategy and with the wheel damage. It's got to give you some more positive feelings than negative feelings knowing that you still wheeled this thing to 3rd, right?
I did say during the race that I'd take an interview as a win. This is the second one I got to do this season. Of course, I did get a podium last night in the ARCA race that was not streamed. That was a generational banger. I wish that V-Speed or any broadcast would have it because that was a great race with a lot of drivers who were even in this race tonight. So, I think this track has been really good to us for this. We had a lot more cautions tonight than we would like, but there's 29 trucks at 5 Flags, and myself included. I bought the track yesterday, and I assume a lot of people probably never had this track till this week. So, the racing up front has been really good. I'll chalk it up as a win in my book. Obviously, I'm not the one doing donuts on the front stretch, but I get an interview, and I'm the only one. I'm the best one on the strategy I put out, like you said. So, I'll chalk it up. It's better than what could have happened to me.
Yeah, certainly. We saw drivers struggle all night to pass cars, especially in the middle of the field. Then you just get the track position up, and all of a sudden you get walloped in the door with something that was not your doing. So, third place on a short track is certainly not something to be upset about at all. But while we got you up here, anybody else you want to thank or shout out for the podium here in Pensacola?
Well, first I want to thank Brandon Road for being the league owner for this event. I have the privilege of racing in this league. I have to shout out you guys on V-Speed, like I've said before. Having this broadcasted, it gets more people into the league. It gets this league more spread out. The amazing commentary this league has because of you guys. Can't ask for much better than that. I like to shout out my teammates, Seven Hawthorne, who also self-spins, but did not get the luck I have of being able to clean it up because of the stage of the race, and he also got totaled. I'd like to thank Tyler Stevenson and Seth Heyman, they were also my teammates. Seth didn't finish the race, I think that's pretty much the end of the list. And anybody who watches it, gives us some viewers, helps the league grow. That's all we can ask for.
All right. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for your time. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish, and we'll see you next time right here on V-Speed.
Thank you. I hope so.
Jonathan Gasheri. Oh. There we go. Apologies, all sorts of technical issues there. Anyway, we are back. And that's about going to do it for us. Thank you, Sofa News Victory Lane, for providing us that segment. Mystic Racing League, Santa, thoughts? Pensacola, what a race.
It was a race indeed. 200-lap race is no easy feat, no matter where you're at. It's a very grueling thing to take part of, although being at the short track, the half mile, only 100 miles is typically what you see from, your run-of-the-mill league type of setting. But it still feels extremely long when you're in the car and you've got 14 cautions to deal with. These drivers, they did their best out here to just persevere through that, and they did a fantastic job. Put together an amazing green flag run there, had some fantastic racing, and a great finish there for P2 between Hinson and Gasheri. Looking forward to seeing what these drivers can do once we take it to Charlotte next week. That should be much better, much more suited for these NASCAR trucks.
the backyard of these teams coming up next week in Charlotte. But we had a fun one here. The Downtown Auto Sales 200 at Five Flags Speedway has come to a close. Want to thank everyone for being a part of this one. Everyone at Mystic Racing League for allowing us the opportunity to bring these races to you. All of the fans who watched here on V-Speed, and of course everyone behind the scenes who makes this thing possible. All the people at V-Speed, as well as Dougie Beard, providing us the cameras we used here this evening and for most of the season. And of course, for Logan, color commentator here tonight, thank you for hopping on board for this short notice event. I've been your host, Bruce Morgan Cook. See you next time, right here on V-Speed.